Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Stefan Keuter. I'm a member of German Parliament, the German Bundestag.
And what is your role here in Abkhazia today?
Well, I was invited as an international election observer, and this is what I'm here for.
And have you been to many locations?
Yes, we've been to 10 polling stations. We went up the hills to the countryside, and we've seen quite a lot of Abkhazia and many polling stations.
And what is the result? What do you think about the process of the election so far?
Well, it's very well organized, and the people are willing to proceed these elections within peace and bring them to good results. So my impression is very good. There are European standards or international standards in doing the pollings here, the elections, and I like it very much that there are people from all different parties in the polling stations and observing the elections as well. Not only me, like an international observer, but also the people in the country do this, and this is very helpful and very good.
And what do you think about the fact that the Western countries don't recognize Abkhazia as an independent country?
My personal opinion is that the Abkhazian people have the right to found their own state, and I'm not of the opinion like the German state is or the European countries are. This is what I'm here for. This is also a sign that I'm here, and I wish Abkhazia good luck in the future of becoming an international member like other countries within Europe or within Russia.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's great to meet you.
Thank you, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Can you please introduce yourself?
To introduce myself, my name is Gunnar Lindermann. I'm a member of Parliament Regional of Berlin.
And what is your role here today?
We come here to visit the election. We wanted to see if it is a democratic and European standard election, and that's why we say we will go to Abkhazia.
And how has that gone for you? Do you think that it's a democratic election?
The 10 polling stations we had visited was in a democrat fair process. It's like the European usual standard. The voting boxes was closed with Siegel, and they had the cabin for giving the votes. We see the lists. We see no police or military people treating anybody to vote for any candidate.
So it's important.
Yes, it's important. So we are sure these 10 stations, voting stations, it was a fair democratic process like European standard, and we think in the other will be the same, because we was not alone. Also other people from other countries were going to other voting stations. And for us it was real important that nobody told us before to which stations we will go, because it was not organized by ministry or by anybody. We just take the car, we take our translator, and we tell him we want to go there, we want to go there. So the voting commission in the station was not prepared that we will come. They were surprised somebody come. And that was important for us, because we wanted to be sure nothing will be prepared special for us. We wanted to see the reality. And we see the reality, and we see it was a democratic, fair, European standard way.
Okay, great. Now, do you think there's any chance in the near future Germany will be recognizing Abkhazia as its own independent country?
It depends on the election 21 in Germany. Because this government now, with the Merkel government in Germany, in fact is like a puppet of the United States. And if the United States don't want, and they don't want to recognize Abkhazia, Germany will not do. As you know, in Germany there are still, since 1945, since the end of the Second World War, the American soldiers in the country. The Russian soldiers in the 90s, the Soviet soldiers, through to Russia back. They go back, but the US still there. So, in my opinion, the government in Germany also is not maybe free in every decision. But we want to change. We are biggest opposition party in Germany. Since 2013, we are in all 16 regional parliaments of Germany. We are in the Bundestag, we are in European Parliament, and we also in a lot of communal parliaments. For example, in my area in east of Berlin, we have the deputy major in my party, Alternative für Germany. So we want to change. And we also want to change the foreign policy, and we want to change the condition between Germany and Russia. We want to end the sanctions. It's written in our program. We want to finish with the sanctions between Germany and Russia because we need good economic relations. And we also, of course, have to put our eyes on the small countries like Abkhazia, like South Ossetia, and of course of the Donbas region. I was many times in the Donbas region, in Lugansk and in Donetsk, to see the reality there of the war. And here in Abkhazia, I see it's a democratic standard election. Most things I see are in a good way. What you have to do is to develop the tourism, because the country is very good for tourism developing.
That's for sure, yes.
There you have to make some renovations, it's not too much to do, it's only small things to do. And I think if we get in Germany one time government with our party, we will recognize Abkhazia like an independent country.
That would be great, because I see the people here, the locals, they all consider themselves their own country.
Yes.
I tell them, well, when you look on the maps in the west, it says it's part of Georgia, and they say, well, that's just a joke. There's nothing here that's Georgian.
It's the maps of the west. In the maps of the west also it's written Lugansk, Donetsk is a part of Ukraine. Also South Ossetia is a part of Georgia.
Yes.
The problem is, in Georgia, you know, Saakashvili came in this time. There he was sent from United States to Tiflis. And then he started the war again in South Ossetia. It's a geopolitics of the United States. The same is in Ukraine, in Donbas.
Yeah, I've actually been living in Donetsk for the last 5 years.
Yes, yes.
So
you know the situation.
Yeah, I see the situation there on a daily basis. The West doesn't understand that it's the Ukraine forces that are shelling civilian neighborhoods on a daily basis.
Yes. Before we go to Abkhazia, we was not with Stefan, with Patrick Poppel. We both was in Lugansk. We was at the front line. We seen the reality at the front line. We collecting the rest of the shellings, and we see it was made in Western Europe. The Ukrainian army is bombing, and the people in Donbas with this munition shellings from Western Europe produced. So it's a very dangerous situation, and I said many times, Western Europe has to stop to finance Kiev. If they stop to finance Kiev, then the war will stop, because Ukraine, in fact, is a country without money. You see, in the last 5 years in Poroshenko area, European Union gives 3 milliard euro to Kiev. They say for democratization. But what means democratization? Means bombing the people in Donbas. And that we say we have to stop it. That's the most important for this area. And of course for you it's important to be recognized, to develop the country, to develop the tourism. And I wish good luck to your country, and I hope we can help something, and we also can help to bring the reality to Western Europe, to tell the people in Western Europe about the situation here.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hope to see you one time again.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
And there we go, the reality of the situation of the Abkhazian elections here from the source. The international observers have been here going from station to station to see what the process is really like here. And everyone we've talked to so far says they think it was a very democratic process. Everything that no one's mentioned any problems yet. We're going to continue our coverage and keep bringing you all we can on the process of the elections here in Abkhazia.